Hey, what's up? Mark Solo Games. So, just going through my Sunday ritual, doing my workout, sorting cards, taking a shower. Not in that order, but you know. Anyway, so I was about to go to bed and started thinking a little bit about Phyrexia All Will Be One. And realistically, I'm a little bit worried. Look, here's the thing. I think the set still looks amazing. And I think the components of the set, I think the different things they're offering right now, they look good. Complete edition, I'm gonna be honest, I'll probably try to run a couple videos maybe this week, tell you a little bit more about it. But I think overall, the way I'm calculating things, the way at least I'm seeing sell through rates for the oil slick raised lands and the other cards, dude, I think they're gonna do very well. I think complete editions are very worth their money. $80 on Amazon is honestly not a bad price for what it is. But I'm worried because if you recall last year, I told you guys what's going to have to change or happen before Wizard makes a change. Well, the thing that has to happen is we're going to have to crash. Now, so far, so good, right? We have a bad Q3, great. Bad Q4, great. So these things are all good signs. And we're probably going to have a bad Q1 or at least something, bad Q2 maybe this year to really kind of like nail that in to the heads of the execs at Hasbro that they're failing, but also signal some things to the board of directors and the shareholders to say, hey, these guys are screwing up. You got to get them out there, right? So as I'm reading all the comments, and this is at least what the streets believes, is no one believes that those execs at Wizards right now, or Chris Cock or Cynthia Williams, understands the game, understands what company they're running, understand what the IPs are, understand why the players, their customers, like their games. I don't think they play them. I don't think they really understands why all the people even want to spend money with them. And they just think, oh, it's cool because we can keep printing and then people are going to be happy. They won't really change because they don't see there is any need to change because nothing is wrong. And this is the whole point, is that we have to shock the system to show them that there is a problem. Now, I think the Dungeons & Dragons guys, that community, they did a great job. But here's the thing. They have direct support through the subscription of D&D Beyond that they can pull back and say, hey, we're not subscribing, we're getting out of it. And those are numbers they can see right away, right? Imagine if you have if you lose over 1,000, 10,000, 1 million subs in a day, yeah, you're changing everything. The fact that when they basically send out the OGL 1.2 and it's like a super watered down version of 1.1, which was very vicious, even that got huge backlash all over Reddit, Twitter, the normal people, right? Even on YouTube, I saw a lot of YouTubers, they were kind of medium about it. They were more like wait and see because a lot of the language is a lot more positive. But at the same time, it's Wizards, so if they've done this once, they're going to do it again. So everyone's kind of worried, and they're just optimistically cautious about the whole situation. So moving back to Magic and Phyrexia, the set looks good. The cards look interesting. I think Infect is going to be fun. Toxic. I think there's a lot of interesting mechanics. I think overall, it's going to be a good set. I have a little bit concerned over the power level of the set and whether draft experience is going to be too bomby. But I guess if it's draft, it's not too bad because even if somebody drafts a bomb, you could figure out ways to get rid of it. Anyways, different video. The reason why I'm worried about the set is actually because I think the set will do well. I think it'll sell through well, at least initially. I think it will probably sell well actually 2, 3, 4, 5 months into it. Similar to Neon Dynasty. Is it going to have the same success as Neon Dynasty? I do not think so. Because very few sets can have that kind of success. But there's a couple factors why it's very similar to Neon Dynasty. When Kamigawa Neon Dynasty was announced, people were excited. Why? When they first did Kamigawa, years and years ago, Kamigawa was basically the second set after the whole new borders, right? I think the Mirrodin set was the first set to have new borders, with the whole border change. Kamigawa was actually the second block to do this. So this is a long time ago. And when they announced it and when they did it, it was, the whole top-down design was very tough because, not a lot of people understood Japanese culture, at least not at the level that they try to show through Kamigawa. Basically the champions, the savior, betrayers, and the saviors of Kamigawa, those three blocks. And, with like the spirits, the oni, these kind of components back then just are not part of the general pop culture. Now, fast forward, 15, 20 years, everything has changed because a lot of people now understand what that is. And they understand Japanese culture a lot more. They understand, and people love anime. Like a lot of that anime culture has taught people, my generation, to understand that culture a lot more. And they're more interested, and if they don't know something, they're more interested in understanding it. And of course, it helps to have powerful cards that are great for Commander. And that's the thing, what sells sets now is cards for Commander. Because everybody's looking at the cards and they're thinking, okay, very few people are looking at the cards and saying, what's this going to do in Standard? Because there's no, why do you have to worry about that? You play Standard on Arena, there's no paper Standard, and there's no tournaments and stuff to go to, so Standard's kind of really dying. So Pioneer's super hot right now, so they're going to judge the cards for Pioneer. Modern a little bit, but usually the power level of a Standard set is not going to be enough for a Modern set. So a lot of them don't get slotted into Modern. And of course, the rest of the cards go into Commander. Makes sense, right? So a lot of people are looking at the cards, seeing their viability in Commander. And this is why Wizards, when they designed these sets, they were designing a little bit of the set for everyone. And currently, the big chunk of that little bit is for Commander players. That's what drives that viability, right? But again, anyways, Neon Dynasty, great set, lots of things for Commander. The throwback is great because it's a long time. When you go back to a plane and you've only been there, let's say 2-3 years ago, it's not as exciting as a plane that you haven't been there for 10 to 20 years. That's why this set was so interesting. In a similar way, that's why Time Spiral Remaster was such a great set, because it was looking back at a block that's from old school time, right? Not something that we have today, and totally different power level. It's kind of like replaying as if you had, you were in that time spiral era, and that is something that's unique. I think in a lot of ways, Phyrexia, All Will Be One, is exactly that. It's throwing back to Mirrodin, again, same era. It's looking at those cards, and that those kind of the storyline, continuing that storyline forward, and really kind of understanding and expanding on the abilities and keywords, etc., mechanics of that set into here, right? In fact, poison counters. When was the last time we visited anywhere we have poison counters? Now we have them, and we have ways to kind of get payoff from poison counters. That's great. The mirrors are coming back, right? So the Mirrodins people are coming back. That's great. This set will sell well. It probably won't do as well as Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, right? Again, throwback. Number one, great. Number two, why? Cards in the set. If you think in Neon Dynasty they knew how to design cards for Commander, they now know that way better. As you can probably already see, half the cards in the set, you're looking at the mythic rares down to the rares, a lot of them are great for Commander. Elish Norn, perfect example, right? I think Elish Norn is a great card. I think Elish Norn is a great card for Commander. You slot it into decks where you're running Panharmonica already, and you just have a second one, basically, on a creature. It's not super oppressive like the first Norn, so people are going to not immediately hate you, and it has a lot of tricks, right? So it's interesting. It's really interesting as a card. I think it's, very strong as well. It's well statted for its mana cost. It's perfectly good card for Commander, right? You look at a lot of the Mondrak, there's a lot of these rare cards that are great from Commander. If you want to have more Super Friends, now you have 10 more Planeswalkers you can potentially slot into things. And the Wandering Emperor, right? These cards, the Vraska, are great. And even the Jace, look, there's a lot of people hating on the Jace right now. I looked at the card and I said, hey man, if I'm just going to do a full blue mill deck in Commander, if that's possible, maybe I use this Jace too. I don't know, right? There's a lot of options now you have. I think mill, by the way, that Jace is not that great. But, again, cards built for Commander. So if people were buying Neon Dynasty and part of it was like, hey, it's this fun set, I'll play it, and once I finish playing it, the cards are valuable, I can, like put them into my commander deck, etc. That's going to help sell through the boxes. Set, draft, boosters, collectors, all the whole slot of things, right? The only thing I can see right now that's kind of holding back Phyrexia All OB1, realistically, really, is just the fact that it's in a really bad era for WotC. WotC is in this position right now where everyone hates on everything they do. If you understand how I think about, investing and how I think about like companies and general trends, when everyone's fearful, when everyone's hating on something, you really have to take a closer look. And that's when you have to maybe really force yourself to apply more logic than other times. When everything is hot, it's going to go up, right? Line goes up. Easy. When everyone's being critical, every product set, you have to really, take a magnifying glass to it and really understand what exactly is it, why is it this way, is it really that bad, is it as bad as people say it is, right? But doesn't matter. The general public, when they say Magic is in this, gutters, they're going to think this set's trash. They're not going to buy it, right? And that's the thing. That's expected. But that's the only thing that's really pulling back. But here's the problem. That crowd, they won't hold the line. If the set's good, people start opening it. Because look, here's the thing. That crowd, it's a love-hate relationship with WotC. If they truly don't care about Magic anymore, they would have left. They wouldn't be so verbally hating it. And all they're waiting for is WotC to listen. It's the notice me senpai syndrome, right? They're just waiting for WotC to say, oh, we hear you. We see what you're saying. Yep, we're going to fix these things. That's what they're waiting for. That's why they're still here. Because if you don't like something, I don't watch TV shows. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. There's tons of TV shows that people tell me about. I don't care. I don't have a positive comment. I don't have a negative comment. I have no comment. That's how most of things in life are going to be for you, for people who don't care. If I'm commenting all these videos I do, it's because I care about Magic. I still care about Magic. Even in the darkest times, I still care. And so here's the thing. If the set's good, if the set's powerful, if the set has good cards, if the pull rates are good, and the quantity is limited, so you're making everybody happy, that line will not hold. When the prices start going up, you think the people who are like, oh, I'm not buying Phyrexia All OB1, you think they're going to actually do that? No, they're going to shift. They're going to say, oh, I'll buy a box. Everyone's buying it. I saw this with Dominaria Remastered. In fact, with my personal play group, a lot of the people saw the set and they said, you know what, it's not that powerful, even including me, right? I still think it's a little bit messy to draft the set. I think it's kind of like a lot of mechanics jammed together. But at the same time, look, I'm not an expert drafter. I don't look that deeply into things. If there's something really, really fun with it, I think also storming off in Dominaria Remastered is very fun, by the way. I think people will start buying into it. And if that happens, it pushes the market up. You're going to convince the people who are holding the line on the other side to join the crowd, join the fray. Look, I still remain with my perspective on all these things. If you like the set, if you want to play it, I suggest, buy a draft box. Play with it. If you want to open some cards, buy one set boosters. That's, one set box. It's totally fine. Collectors, whatever it is. But do not right now buy into Phyrexia All OB1 unless you are just going to open it and enjoy the cards and play. Do not hold them right now for investment. I'm not telling you to do any of that stuff right now because I think 2023 is going to be a rough year. And it can have nothing to do with Wizard. It's still going to be a rough year for everyone because market is bad. But the thing is, if we really want Wizards to course correct, they have to fail. But I'm worried because I think Phyrexia All OB1 will actually do very well in sales compared to the sets that they've had before. In fact, Brothers War didn't really do that poorly. So if the trend is looking this way, it's going to look pretty good. And my fear is that all of Phyrexia All OB1's success will vindicate the execs at Wizards to say, oh, let's continue doing the things we are doing. There's nothing wrong. It's great. Everyone loves it. Look at the sales numbers. And that's bad for us. So, yeah, that's why I'm worried. Mark Solo Games, I'm out. See you on the other side.